Forerunners. Chapter 11. The Desert Dunes. While preparation and planning was on the forefront of the minds of the Light's arsenal in anticipation of the scorpion hunt, this did not stand in the way of the party enjoying some last-minute festivities of the festival. This included a strange magical duck game, and Vinda renewing her pie-eating contest and winning an interesting rabbit-turtle figurine. In the meantime, the Bruun brothers enjoyed a relaxing day and evening tracking and observing the landscape around Zagahta to determine the best location for hunting giant scorpions. Mischief and mayhem are words that have often been attributed to Vinda Twirlfeather, yet it has never been so true as it was the night before the hunt. Fulfilling a post-pie winner promise, Eri'theas gave the curious Faerie a roll of the mysterious die in his possession. Shenanigans ensued, as everyone within the Crimson Force Tavern seemed to be body-swapped at random, and with no explanation as to the spell's end, desperate plans were spurred into action. This included a second roll by Vinda, which resulted in a single wish. But instead of rectifying the current predicament she placed her friends in, she wished for something of her past. Eventually the spell ended by the time of the next morning, and the party made their way back to the festival. After observing the annual ceremony, the hunt began, and the party now finds themselves marching through the desert of Quiddis in search of a giant scorpions. Okay, so we're gonna spin time forward a little bit. You've been traveling for most of the day, and you really have not encountered anything worthy of note. Mostly, you've just been trekking through, heading towards the direction that the Bruun brothers have decided is best for desert travel. In the meantime, you could have had any conversations, talked about anything you would have liked, but for the most part, it was just travel. You were with some other hunting groups for probably the first 2 hours. It took a while for you guys to not really see each other, and several of them headed in a similar direction to you, but most people were sort of taking alternative routes, whether they're headed in the same direction you or just trying to not let people know exactly where they're going. It's difficult to determine. But eventually the Zagahta is starting to go down, and you guys are starting to think about the cold and bedding down for the night. And so you're starting to want to look for a place to settle in. So, for those who are, let's say 2 point men, 2 people who are actively looking and sort of thinking about it in terms of survival, why don't you, two of you, make let's just say let's say perception searching tests.
I think the other person is you, John.
It's me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have it. I don't have very good perception.
No, but you got a pretty decent roll. I almost broke 20.
Okay.
Have we had anyone roll 20 or higher yet?
Not on a D6.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what, a +2 plus triple sixes across the board. Yee, that's kind of. It's not
I
gonna
have a
happen often.
+2 and a +3.
I don't think we've had. I think we've only had one person to roll triple sixes.
What do we see?
Sorry. Yes. Between these two rolls, you two managed to find a location that will be serviceable. Traveling through, you're kind of in the more soft sand portion of the region, and you kind of have to find a hill, but you do manage to find one that's got a little bit of a rocky base, and you can kind of tuck your party into it with something to your backs in order to bed down for the night. We're just going to pretend that that's Eri singing for the night. I can't find a suitable night song yet, and I don't want to mess with it.
Okay.
So, yes, you guys kind of bed down for the night. What sort of preparation do you want to make for the night time? And who do you want to put on watch? And those types of things.
Well, my magic band-aids fade after a day, so I'll replace the ones that I made yesterday. I should probably be one of the people on watch because I have a +3 to perception.
Okay. You can have 2 people on watch.
Anyone else?
We should probably have people that are perceptive, not all be going at the same time.
True.
Well, I mean, when she says we have 2 people on watch, it's one for one round, half the night, and another for the other half.
Right, so we're talking...
Okay. How many will do the other watch then?
For the first night, I could help with either one.
The question is, who has higher perception?
Harmony's got a
what
+4.
people- Okay.
He's very perceptive.
Okay, so who wants to take the 1 to 4 a.m. and who wants to take the 5 to 8?
I'm fine taking first watch or second watch. I don't care.
I'll volunteer for the last one. I'll get up early.
Okay, I can help with the first watch then. I'm not taking the full thing. I'm not rolling for the first watch because you don't want me rolling. Those perception rolls for Eri are about as good as Elon.
Oh, we only need one person for each watch, so I'll take first if someone else takes second.
Yeah, I can take second.
Okay.
Okay, all good. Is there any preparation? Any nighttime things you want to discuss? Anything we want to do?
Nope.
I can't think of anything.
So how are we going to kill the scorpions once we find them?
stab them. Shoot them.
Vinda looks at her tiny little sewing needle.
Gorm looks at Vinda. Throw fire at them.
No, what? I don't do fire.
Gorm just shrugs.
Winter looks around and asks, so are we eating anything?
Well, I assume you have some rations, don't you?
No.
Alright. I shall take care of your sustenance with what supplies I have. Don't worry.
She gives a slightly apologetic smile. Thanks, Eri.
It's alright. It behooves us to take care of ourselves. When you are taken care of, so is the team.
So, are we assuming you guys built a fire?
Well, depends on if my rations require fire. I doubt they would.
But I'm cold, Winter says, as everybody seems to not want to build a fire.
Do we have the stuff to build a fire with?
Yeah, what sort of desert is this? Is that picture accurate? Because if so, then we're not building a fire.
It's accurate in every way except there isn't a second moon, which there would be, but pretty much, yeah. You're in a more rocky part of it, but yeah.
With what?
I am afraid a camping set or a fire is not something that I have procured. This little hunt was not on my plan of things to do. I had more planned on staying closer to civilization.
Also, there's no wood to cut down. If you want warmth, wrap yourself in a blanket and dig into the sand.
You know, I can make a bonfire.
You have fuel?
I have a spell that I know how to make a bonfire.
Orb just stares at you peculiarly, with an eyebrow raised. Like, what is this sorcery?
If you so wish to ignite a fire on a night like this, then go for it. Just be aware that a fire will attract at least onlookers.
Oh, yes, the onlookers of the middle of the desert.
They could have claws and a very large stinger, so keep that in mind.
But the sand will keep you warm when the fire goes out.
Okay, Winter's going to attempt to make a bonfire.
Well, you try to build a bonfire. Harmony's gonna spar with Curiosity a little bit. Try and get him used to the footing in the loose sand.
Who needs footing when you have wings?
You won't always be able to fly.
Very true. There are times when your wings will be at a disadvantage for you to utilize them.
Okay, Winter, how many hours do you want your bonfire to last?
Probably about 3 hours.
Okay. So that'll cost you an additional 4 MP.
An additional 4 to the normal 6?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so as you guys settle in for the night, Curiosity and Harmony, you begin sparring. Aries' beautiful voice goes through the desert land and the night sky. Some of you who are watching, especially you, Gorm, who is very curious about this spell Winter supposedly has, you watch as Winter closes her eyes for a moment and puts her hands into a small semicircle on the ground, and clearing out a small little trench in the center of your party. You see her hands sparkle for a few moments with small little flickers of embers, and they flash between her fingers until eventually they come and coalesce into the center of this trench. And you see a small flame, just a single flame, and it starts growing and starts going upwards. Then you see Winter opens her eyes, and she steps back a little bit, and she makes sure that everyone else is about a good 5 feet away from the flame. And as it begins to grow and expand into several flames, and very quickly, within a couple of minutes, without wood or fuel or any other material, you see this warm flame bubble out into a large bonfire, which, if you're attempting to be stealthy, it's now hitting you that's going to be a little difficult to do, as it's probably getting light for quite a while in this flat desert. But it does seem to solve any cooling problems you guys are dealing with, and immediately you are warmed by the fire as it blazes in the center of all of you.
Winter wraps up in her blanket and on her bedroll and falls asleep beside the fire.
All right, and eventually the rest of you also find yourselves asleep.
Also, I just have to say, if there isn't some possibility if we roll in that one that we don't run into a giant sandworm, then I don't know what to say, Zariana.
I mean, you know, sandworms might be a next week thing. We'll see. I can't say I wasn't tempted by it. All right, so Gorm, what all do you want to do during your watch besides actually watching it?
Probably just watch.
Okay, go ahead and give me your perception roll. If you wanted to stealth, you can go ahead and roll that as well.
Yep, I will be stealthing as well. And I'll have my bow and arrow out at the ready.
Okay. Okay, so as you watch as your friends and your brother fall asleep, and you wait until they're about all. You're pretty certain that they're all asleep before you go and find some place to hide and stealth yourself. You spend for the next 4 hours or so, or maybe longer depending on when they go to sleep. But you watch over the landscape. You see some small critters coming up out of the sand and moving about in the cool night air. You do actually see a few more flickers of light across the dunes, which you assume were probably other hunters getting ready for the first night of the hunt in this first evening. The sky is actually relatively clear, and you see a ton of stars, as well as both the Alpha and Omega moons, although Alpha is currently eclipsing Omega, so you don't see it as much. But it's a pretty peaceful night, and nothing really strange or odd catches your notice.
I take note of which direction the hunters were heading in.
Okay, from where you can see the most amount of light is from the northeastern direction, from where more northeastern, where not from where you are, but part of the region.
So that's where I see them going.
Mm-hmm.
You said northeastern.
Yes.
Then that's the direction they're heading.
That's where all of the lights are right now.
Okay, that's about it. And when my watch is about over, I'll go and wake up whoever it was who said they were going to do the watch. I know at least 2 people said something about doing second watch. I imagine we decided whether it was John or was it Curiosity or Harmony who was saying.
Harmony.
So you 2 fight about which one of you is going to be doing second watch. So whoever it is, I wake them up.
I volunteered for the last one to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, there's only 2.
That's not what my GM said.
There were 3 watches.
There are 2 watches. You got the evening, the late evening, and then the pre-dawn watch.
Okay, yeah, then I want the second one.
Okay. Alright, so Gorm wakes you up, Olaf, at about 1 a.m. And you watch for the next 4 hours your friends and stuff. What things do you want to accomplish during your watch?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Is there anything, like, he stealthed? Do you want to do anything?
No.
Okay. Give me a perception roll then. Yeah, you don't really notice anything either on your watch. Your sky pretty much remains the same. Landscape remains the same. It's pretty calming, actually. You see, you don't actually see as many lights as your brother did, but you do see 1 or 2 campfires still going. And the magical campfire is also long gone by the time you start your watch, so it gets a little colder. And you kind of have to wrap yourself up a little bit. But once your watch comes to an end, you see the beginnings of dawn starting to come up, and you start rousing your party up for the next morning. Okay. I need everyone to make a perception roll. And then I need everyone to roll 1d6.
Of course, it's Vinda who rolls the 1.
Okay, Gorm and Vinda. As you guys stir, Vinda, you hop out of your locket, wake up and do some stretches, in the desert wind, kind of feel the sand in your toes, like normal. Gorm, you do what Gorm does. Not really sure what Gorm
myself
does.
out of the sand bed
Probably.
that I have made.
And you look up towards the horizon, and you both sort of notice that there are some slightly higher winds than last night, gathering from the northwest. You see some unusual dust starting to kind of gather in that area. However, Vinda, as you're watching, as you're staring off at this, taking it kind of considering what that means, especially from your background, winds are usually a little bit more dangerous to fairies, and as you're thinking about this, you hear a small skittering sound and turn quickly, only to be stung in the leg by a small scorpion that you startled by your quick turning around.
Small scorpion with like a 1 foot tall fairy. See the amount of venom that's probably gone into that.
Yeah, you take 7 points of damage as the scorpion quickly stings you and then burrows under the ground, trying to attempt to hide from you. The pain stings in your leg, and you can feel sort of what must be some sort of venom coursing through your body, and it hurts a lot. Doesn't seem to be going away.
So yeah, my owls become louder and more screechy and become interspersed by help.
Vinda, are you alright?
No!
Are we all awake at this point?
Yeah, you guys are all awake now.
Curiosity, could you take a look at Vinda? She seems to be having a bit of pain. I'm not sure what caused it.
Yeah, I hurry over to take a look at Vinda.
Just read your comic strip, John.
Yeah, Curiosity, you can see it is a little difficult. You kind of have to scoop her up in your hands so you can get a closer look, but you can definitely see what it looks like, a hole, like a big gash in her leg from something.
Okay, is there something that I should roll to investigate the wound?
What do you think you should roll? What would you do?
Some sort of intelligence or perception?
Okay. Do you have intelligence healing?
Nope. I can research her wound.
You pull out a lab.
Do you have a book on scorpions or poisons?
My kingdom for a library!
What kind of perception do you have?
Regular perception?
Okay, then I will let you choose which one you roll. I know these are kind of important for a healer. Curiosity.
I mean, if I could get more focuses at level 2, I would.
Okay. Yeah, you... It's difficult to tell exactly which strand, but she's definitely poisoned. The wound has definitely poisoned her in some way, and she looks like it's going to continue causing her damage if you don't deal with it right now.
Okay, well, so mechanically, when do I choose which spells I'm going to slot for the day?
When you get up.
Just woke up. So can we just say I slot my Cure Poison spell?
That's totally fine.
Okay.
It's the perfect time for someone to get poisoned.
Convenient that is.
So yeah, I will attempt to use my Cure Poison spell.
I was thinking about that happening.
Wait, what? TN special?
Yeah, that it's the TN is a difficulty of the poison, so it's not auto in, so it just said fail, but it only failed if it actually went below the difficulty, which Zarian will have to supply.
It was a tiny scorpion, so the difficulty wasn't too high. But it does take you a little bit of time as you cast a spell and you place your hand, you hover your hand over your fairy friend, and you take a moment and focus, and you pour in your energy, and you see the wound go from being purple veins up and down her small leg to contracting into a small reddish wound that's left behind from the actual stinger, but it seems like the poison has left her.
Wait, can you momentarily remind me? It's been so long since I've thought about this. You get like 2 spells per magic type, or 2 total? I think it's 2 per magic type, right?
Per magic type, yes.
Okay.
So she is cured of poison, but not of her wound, which is still there.
Okay, then I will attempt to heal her with my healing hands.
Zeri, did we have 8 hours of uninterrupted rest?
Everyone except Harmony and Gorm did, yes.
Okay.
Oopsie daisies, that was a fail.
We should split into 4 watches next time.
You guys would each only watch for 2 hours and then go to sleep.
That'd be fine, because then we could just extend the amount of time we rest by 2 hours. Or go to bed 2 hours earlier.
So if I fail on my healing check, what does that mean? Can I try it again?
I thought you were using a spell. Are you using intelligence?
Yeah, I'm using the healing hands cantrip, which is just like the regular healing thing. I think it has a difficulty of 11.
Okay, yeah. No, you try to heal up her wound, but sort of getting your magic all set up right at the moment, it's jostled you a little bit, and you're gonna need to refocus a little bit. It's gonna take you a little bit of time before you can reattempt to heal her. I will say you can do it again, but this whole thing is going to eat up your first hour of travel. Just getting her cured, resetting your spells, get all of that is going to take this hour up.
How are you feeling, Vinda?
Well, I guess I feel less like I'm currently being mauled and just like I was mauled.
So wait, should I re-roll my healing thing?
Go ahead.
There we go. So that will heal for 12 damage.
Okay, so back to full. Okay, that's much better. Thank you.
If that's the problems that a little scorpion causes, hopefully we don't encounter many more.
Winter just glares at him.
It does put things into an interesting perspective.
So what did I miss?
Where were you? What? How
I
long
was
were you
AFK
gone?
for a second. Like a minute, maybe 3 minutes. Actually, by the looks of the timestamp on, I'd be right back. 5 seconds.
Well, the bigger scorpions might be more dangerous. They're also easier to see.
I definitely need to be prepared for future poisonings.
Yeah.
The bigger scorpions are poisonous and they can cut you in half with their claws. Then Gorm looks at Vinda. They'd probably just crush you.
Yay, that's much better.
Gorm shrugs.
Olaf, have you been looking at your maps during this hour?
No.
Okay, well, there was a thing before that. Oh, I don't remember.
Alright, so you guys, when you wanna, you can zoom travel whenever you like. Just let me know kind of what hour you want to get going again.
Well, Gorm's all for going immediately.
Where exactly are we going to?
That's a good question. Where exactly was I taking us?
A northeastern direction.
says northwest here. There's supposed to be an area northwest of here that has the environment where scorpions like to nest. And I believe the females may be larger, so if we're willing to fight multiple giant scorpions, we might be able to secure the victory. Or just one, I don't know their habits, whether they're solitary or not.
Well, I trust you. If that's where you say we should go, then we shall go there.
Yeah, just watch out for the little scorpions too, because apparently they're nasty.
Are you sure your notes say northeast, Zariana? Because mine say northwest. Or at least they say that's what you told me.
If they say northwest, then that's what you think.
I remember getting decent rolls, so I hope that's right.
Alright, then you guys eventually pack your stuff up, what little stuff you did have. I assume, Vinda, you're going in the necklace for the time?
Yeah, I think so right now.
Okay, and you guys begin trekking northwestern, in a northwestern direction for a while.
I will be going out ahead, stealthing and scouting, so that we don't accidentally run into anything.
Okay.
What should I roll for scouting ahead, if anything?
Perception searching would probably be the best one.
I forgot to open up my thing to look up stunts.
There are our exploration stunts.
Yep.
Could go for speedy search or the object of your attention.
Let's see. I will go with speedy search and the object of my attention because I have all the stuff. I can do multiple at once, right?
You can do as many as you have the stunt points for.
Okay. And I want advantageous positioning with the last one.
Okay, so speedy search, the object of your attention, and
Advantageous.
Okay. Okay, yeah. It's difficult to fully lose someone in this flat desert area. But with Gorm's natural sort of bandaging and sort of he sort of blends in, and it becomes harder and harder for you guys to see him as he gets further out. Sometimes when you concentrate ahead of you can remind yourself that he's still there, but as you're traveling through, it becomes more and more difficult. Gorm, you keep a good, say, 10 feet, 20 feet in front of them?
Probably a lot more than that. Probably like get 100 feet. Okay.
You get 100 feet out of them, and you, like an eagle, you're scouting everything, any potential problems, any sort of problems you guys might have. You continue to see the winds gathering up, and they seem to be sort of getting closer towards you, but it doesn't quite alarm you as of yet. You scout. You come across, at one point you do see a small band of maybe hunters and maybe travelers, you're not sure, but they're probably a good 100, 300 yards from you, and you keep your eye on them to see if they're dangerous, but they pass on their own.
I keep in mind the direction they're heading.
Okay. And you keep in mind, you keep in track of them and the other kind of lights you've seen. And you're starting to gather kind of a mental picture of the landscape going on around you. For the first couple of hours of your guys' travel, you don't really encounter anything too dangerous, thanks a lot to Gorm, who sees things that might be rocky terrain. You come across at one point something that some sort of sands that seem to not be so good for anything that has weight on it, and you find some quicksand spots, and you're able to direct your party away from it before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I just like ahead of them. I just leave like little markings or items or things positioned in certain ways that Olaf would recognize to signal back when there's something that they should go around and how far.
Okay. It gets to be about the noon hour, and you guys decide to take like a 30-minute break as you're getting hungry and tired, and the heat of the siesta is starting to bear down on you guys a little bit. It's not one of the hotter days you've experienced, but being out here for so long in the heat and the sun, anything you guys haven't covered up, it's probably starting to hurt a little bit. And so you guys decide to take shelter for about 30 minutes.